this? Okay, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Good night, morning, wherever you are. And welcome to another Mortal Invitational match. We are now ready to, as soon as they begin, watch Randiv, my teammate, versus Spencer Wolfhart in the last, quite possibly the last match of this tournament. And with me today is the Fall League champion, Pete Wizard. Welcome. Oh yeah. Yes. So long as Randiv, but the thing is, last time Spencer and Randiv crossed, went up against each other. I can't think of an appropriate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Randiv actually beat him, albeit only just. It was a last day catch. So, if I recall correctly, it was nonetheless. Spencer had quite a bit of influence. Spencer is, of course, a master of the lair stratagem. Second, only to Wakajic, if even to him. Oh no, I did not say. Like I said, like I said, he, like I said, I think it was a final day catch, so he did not go down easy. Uh, it was, it was down to the wire. For the most part, he's been doing the meta superhero start. Uh, but I will see. We'll see what happens, and regardless whether or not he wins, it has definitely been a pleasure being his teammate and getting to just chat and rent, and I suppose spend a little bit more time with him, as he and I, of course, had to do like discussions over or who would do what and etc. But in the end, it ended up being just me being the Dracula player with one or two exceptions. Like most teams, we ended up being just one person is Hunters, one person is Drac for the vast majority. And the thing is, I think his record is better than mine. So I think that he's definitely a better Hunter than I am. Let me see. How many games have I won? I won both times versus Spencer's teammate Errol. I won once versus Scott Sword. I won once. I won once versus Mystios. And let me see. I think, did I cross with Sir Backstab at any point? No. High Lords of the Low Water alternate every week, so I think they're like the one team that hasn't been like choosing a Dracula representative and a Hunter representative. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure that Randiv is paying attention. Uh, you, I'm telling him on Discord to start up the lobby. Yeah. Yeah. This will. I mean, I think we've. Oh, there he is. Should be. Should should be seeing those bats flying at our heads any moment now. Whoops, there they are. Alright. That's interesting. It's possible that he misclicked there. He says that has happened before. So this will make the center of the map look very appealing. Not to mention that the center of the map is definitely... we'll definitely have to mention that to him in the post-game chat. Or one, if he had a sense of emergency. Or... yeah. Athens is the same. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Now, where will Spencer will doubtless take a while. He makes sure to especially now that we can see our opening hand. He always makes sure to makes sure to plan out his first sequence of moves ahead of time. Uh, so I mean, take for example, our second game, Pizza Wizard, uh, Aggie. I always say, no matter, always search the first time. Unless it's Harker, that is. Uh, if it's, but to continue what I was saying, oh, interesting, Amiga cards. I ended up with two. I ended up with two vampires, wolves, and such in my starting hand, so I went for that England opening, and was able to give you quite a stressful game, even if it. So, yeah, a heavenly host and excellent weather. So what's Randiv has gone for is more or less is apart from it being in Budapest and not Vienna, the traditional Scots sword start of old. Yeah, I very seldom go for like picking a fight, except like in our first game. Uh, That's one of the. That's an example of one of the few times that I do actually look for a fight. You likely recall my booby trap I set for you all too well. I would I would put I would put one of them down in southern Italy, not necessarily Bari, possibly Rome, Naples. Uh, but yes, somewhere down in southern Italy, and then I would say the next best spot would be like somewhere like Geneva, I think. Nantes and Marseille. Uh, I can't say I really like those ones. I yes, yes, but Seward is at most 2 days away. Uh, or at most three if he has to walk by road. But well, yes, yes, especially since we've seen an excellent weather on Mina. Uh, so he could Van Helsing, if he trades that offer, can ferry across English Channel in one turn. So yeah. Je- hey, hey, people in the live stream, any guesses on where Drac will be? Yeah, and Spencer doing the traditional Spencer don't misdirect for his lair stratagem. One, one extra lair, yeah. Yeah, he's. Yeah, he. I. That's definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. What have we got discarded? Okay, nothing all that interesting yet, but we got dogs, collectibles, and pistol in the discard. Uh, yeah, yes. uh, yeah. Holy Circle is definitely underrated, but the thing is that those almost always get discarded early, as you find the weaponry, horses, and such. Or rarely do. Which, and people in the live stream, if our audio is off, please inform us. Don't suffer in silence. That's what it always says. Yeah, Miss. Well, for there's a chance for something like wax, as you said, to character specific. So wax cylinders, hypnosis, mystic research. Uh, also, possibly a second excellent weather. You don't have to show something else with Mina. For that matter. Yeah. Yes. Oh? Which one of us is, not there, JB? Hmm. Oh, I think it's you. That's strange. It was looking good earlier. Uh, let's see what I can do about that. Sorry, but the music will have to go for the time being. Uh,
Keep an eye on this for the Holy Circle gone.
is that better, JB?
And there's a
Yeah.
newspaper. Geneva,
Yeah.
he did start kind of central.
Uh,
Could have even gone to Marseille because the hired scouts came down, I think, the day that he was at Geneva. So we could have even gone to Marseille after that. Although I don't think he'd want to. Probably want to go to Strasbourg just because he wants to probably make Strasbourg a layer at some point.
Okay.
Hmm.
You,
But yeah, he started central as expected.
you,
It's gonna be hard for them to get there
all right.
because of
There we
their
go.
placement.
Issue fixed. Thank you for telling us,
Oh,
JB.
yeah, I'm glad to be here, guys. I haven't said anything important. We're just gonna re-go over everything I've talked about in the last the last 10 minutes. I totally said Spencer was gonna start central before it was revealed. I promise.
Oh
Blazin
yeah.
can confirm.
Oh yes. Both of us agreed that that was the most likely situation, with them having gone to him having started there in Budapest rather than Vienna.
Looks pretty bad now because my audio wasn't coming through. What was happening? Well, we see a Holy Circle discarded. We were talking about Holy Circle. Uh, Mina discarded a pistol, so they probably have decent items, or like enough weapons. Do you keep like a crucifix over a pistol? Is that the world we're living in? Like, do you keep like a garlic or a crucifix over a pistol?
Garlic, maybe. As a crucifix, I wouldn't.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Some people
if
like
me
their surprise crucifix.
if Mina doesn't have a knife yet and basically doesn't have an anti-fang thing, then yes. Then you definitely,
Hmm.
I would say yes, you keep and so as long as you have like another weapon, another conventional weapon like a rifle or another pistol, then yes, I think so.
Well, I mean, I think from the discard, I mean, it's hard. Okay, we'll get more information on discard pile when there's more cards in it, obviously. But I mean, I think that John Stewart and Van Helsing's hands are gonna be a little more scattered. Although I don't think Spencer really is thinking about their hands particularly much right now. He's probably just focusing more on his own setup because the layer strategy does kind of require that kind of forethought. Um, I wonder when they're gonna start moving on Geneva because they're in 11, right? They can rail to 57. Or if they have horse economy set up, they could get to Geneva in 2 turns. So they'd need to start moving not tomorrow, but the next day.
At
At least we know there's
at
no hide part
at
on
latest,
Geneva.
yes.
Yeah. Although I don't think Spencer does not often hide, so I wouldn't count on even if we didn't know for sure that it was a high card.
Definitely not early on. No, he tends to try to set up as much as big of a layer chain as he can. Uh,
Because I mean, a layer strategy really is more than I think for this. I mean, obviously all Dracula strategies are trying to kind of maximize their encounters, but I mean, layer ones you're trying to kind of juggle like you want to have good encounters on your trail, but you want to also put good encounters in your layers, right? Or at least decent ones. So when you go back, it's not just like aristocratic vampires and rats, right? You want to have good things in there, but you also don't want you want your trail to be threatening at the same time. It's an intricate balance, and I really think that Spencer's good at that. Mina changed her reveal items is now revealing a horse. Sure, he's a horse in a heavenly host.
that seemed to have been
So.
a trade. Gloaming took the Heavenly Host because it's not in the discard.
Or she just changed her revealed items.
Po-
But yeah,
Possibly.
we'll see. I do think there is a temptation as hard just to, when you get a horse on me, just reveal it as soon as you can, just because, it's gonna get revealed anyway.
Yeah. So now we know the whereabouts of a horse.
Mm-hmm. How highly does Spencer value his first encounter? Does he often put like a vampire or a hoax there? I feel like a vampire would be really counterproductive if he wants to kind of make layers.
I think that what I would expect facing Spencer, what would I expect? That's actually a good question. I think that I would expect a hoax first if he could. Wolf form, eh?
Oh, perfectly positioned so that if it was a vampire, he would get his wolf form back. Makes me eat my words. Now I'm thinking maybe there is some sort of vampire on that encounter if he's gonna wolf form like that. Although maybe he just wants the good movement, just kind of throw some obfuscation out there.
Yes, that's also possible.
But maybe he just wants to layer Geneva, and it's actually just like, spy, or like something that he would be fine if they stepped on it, but if they don't, he can make a nice layer with it if he wants to make Geneva. I feel like Geneva is also a kind of a good layer position.
Here's what I think. I think that Geneva is going to be a vampire. And then after that, it's going to be spy, wolves, things of that nature. Like you described, things that he doesn't particularly care about maturing, but things that are relatively solid anyway.
Do you need to scan today with Mina? Because I'm looking at the potential wolfform locations right now, and it's possible he could have gotten as far as 49. I mean, we know Spencer. Spencer kind of likes his central start. Do you think there's any, do you need to scan today to make sure he didn't wolfform into the east? Because he could have gone, Geneva to Munich, or...
Well, if Mina has her ticket sorted out, I see no reason why not to. Unless Mina's going to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the big thing for me. Is I really, really want my horses to be situated as fast as I can. I really don't like giving up tickets, but on days like this, I think I bite the bullet. I get one less ticket just because that scan information is so critical. I mean, it's a big deal, right? Even if he's not there, you can at least then start safely moving west, knowing that he's not behind you. At least you're not actively moving away from him.
But the thing is, knowing Spencer, and the thing is, the reason why we when we first discussed facing a team Dirty Deeds and Sheep, we decided that Randiv should face off against Spencer because of the fact that Randiv has played against Spencer a lot, and he knows Spencer far better than I do.
Really? Do they play a lot do they play a lot of friendly games?
Perhaps not all that much lately, but I have barely played Spencer at all. We've always been in separate tournament groups. We've always yada yada yada, and other people always jump on friendly games that I offer, slash the other way around. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, some people at different time zones can be a jerk. You don't get to play them as much as you'd like.
Yeah. But thing is that Randiv is in the same time zone as I am, but
Spencer's over in Europe, so he's got working with a little bit of a different hour. Working a little bit different hour, but does he scan today? I guess it does. Van Helsing trade with someone today. Did he trade yesterday? Did you see? I'm curious to see. I feel like if he instantly traded with a non-Godalming person, it would make me think that maybe they're getting a character-specific item from Godalming. Like maybe he got the Wax Cylinder or Hypnosis and is now trading it across. But I didn't see yesterday. I should have been paying closer attention. Oh, again with Godalming.
Interesting. I get the feeling that is more to open up event slots this time than anything else.
Godalming didn't gain any events, so it must be to give Godalming something. Maybe he got the Money Trail or the Lucy's Revenge that he wanted. He got them on Van Helsing.
Either that, or he simply doesn't want to discard events with Van Helsing.
That's fair. And Godalming did gain an item or an event off that exchange, so he got something. I mean, both these things would make sense. Although I kind of like using Sue as my supply dump, but he already has 4 events, so not so much this game.
Yeah, Goldong was the only one who had spare space, so
he did scan. I like that. I like
that a lot. the thing is, I might do consider not doing so because knowing who I'm playing against. I mean, because would Spencer just goes off into the east when he? Oh, interesting.
Makes me think it was a Marseille will form. Because Marseille is really commonly checked. But, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you that maybe there's some incentive not to do it just because you think he's most likely he's not going to go to the east. But I think that that's a really greedy line to take for one more ticket. And I think it's a lot like I understand what you're saying. Like it would feel pretty bad though to not scan. Like the worst case scenario is so bad if you don't scan, right? And then you just assume he's in the middle of the map. Look, people die when hunters start making assumptions. Okay, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous age of darkness. It gets that much closer when hunters start ruling out possibilities prematurely.
Yeah.
I remember playing him like a while ago. I played a league game against Humperdinck, and he escaped his bat from Nantes, and then Wolf formed the next. He misdirected it, and then Wolf formed the next day. Wolf formed back to Nantes, but I didn't even consider Nantes as a possibility. So I checked everywhere else, and eventually I found Nantes. But by then, like so much time had passed. I think I got him in the end, but he was like. By just eliminating Nantes as a suspect for no reason, I just made the game so much harder for myself. And if I just because I had plenty of people, I could have checked it. I just didn't remember that you could. I didn't think about him wolf forming back there. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. He needs to move today to get to Geneva if he wants to get there. Maybe you don't care about Geneva because you think he's gonna layer it.
Interesting.
No, he's moving.
Well, it's definitely correct to move. I mean, so long as they're reasonably equipped. I mean, the fact that they're starting to toss away things like rifle, like there's even been a rifle tossed away, means that Van Helsing at the very least will be well supplied. As he was the one who discarded that one.
Yeah, how is he going to get to Geneva, though? I mean, it's 3 roads away, so he's going to need an event to get there with Godalming. Unless Mina rolls horses today, maybe she will. Okay, my prediction right now as to Spencer's movement. I think he went 24 to Zurich, 60, back to Marseille, and then we'll form from Marseille and then misdirect it. I'm gonna put my prediction in now. That's what I think is happening. That or Munich. He went to Munich or Marseille and then we'll formed from 60 from Zurich. That's my guess. We'll see. Probably not right, but that's what my gut's telling me. Oh. Ooh, not a good roll. Not a good roll. Yeah, that hurts because she could have gone to Geneva in 2 days if she had rolled well.
Yes, however, there is still a possibility of sense of emergency on either Seward or Godalming.
It's just gonna require an event now. Some sort of event. Van Helsing's also moving over. I like that. You know he's on Central Europe, so just get as many bodies in Central Europe as you can.
The thing is that he could actually be sitting on Le Havre right now. He could hide and try to hit Van Helsing.
That's true. And I think he'd probably get away with it because I don't think anybody's going to check Le Havre before he lands there. The issue is, can he... I mean, that's a very risky strategy. Oh, and you hope he's not hiding on Le Havre right now.
Well, that's the thing. We would have only just reached there if our prediction about Marseille is correct, being the misrated card. True. He would have only just got there. So
and I don't know if he would have predicted Van Helsing leaving so early. I suppose since you know that he knows that you're in Central Europe, maybe you think he's going to leave sooner, but it's risky, that timing, because you don't know precisely when he's going to leave, right? For some reason he wanted Van Helsing to supply one more day or to trade something across and he didn't leave. It'd feel pretty bad to just to hide on Le Havre and then have to move away or feed or do something else kind of obvious.
Yeah, so now we have a lair somewhere or another. Somewhere next to Geneva that isn't Marseille.
I would guess he wouldn't want to put it somewhere where we get checked by hired scouts willy-nilly, right? So I would guess probably 15, maybe 42. Saint Clement
I've seen a lot of Strasbourg starts from Spencer, so I think
that's true.
I think that would be my guess as to where he started.
I would have thought he maybe would have wanted to leave it open to move there, but I suppose if if the Marseille theory is true, then he wouldn't need to, and then yeah, just make Strasbourg a layer, quote unquote, for free without actually having to move through it. Although Strasbourg is there's a lot of freedom moving to Strasbourg. I think you might want to save that for the trail, but yeah, I'm not a layer I'm not a layer tactician, so my predictions on Spencer's movement
It's possible.
maybe off because I'm not considering some aspect of the layer strategy.
It's possible that Goldaming might have a horse, and simply chose not to use it. And
I feel.
I have my doubts about that myself, but it's not disappointing. It's not impossible.
I guess it depends on whether he wanted Godalming to be able to move to Geneva. Because if Godalming had a horse and his white ones are worked out, and he has all three of them, I mean, you'd probably want to move with horses just to try to get to 24 with him. If you didn't want him to get to 24, then I think you're right. Just move by rail, get the guaranteed 2 movement, and then you can get to like.
Oh, what do you know?
Wow, so he did it. You're right. He did have horse. He just wanted the good movement. Okay, maybe he didn't want to get to Geneva with Godalming.
I'm guessing that he's gonna go to Zurich. Oh,
yes.
Looks as if you called that.
Well, with the misdirect there, going to Zurich leaves the next space. The next space could be Marseille, it could be Munich, it could be Nuremberg. There's a lot of options with Zurich where the misdirect is more effective, and I have a high opinion of Spencer's abilities, so I think that he would choose a spot like that where the misdirect is going to maximize the amount of spaces he could have gone, right? He could have gone to Strasbourg, he could have gone to Marseille, he could have gone to Munich. Thankfully, Mina did scan, so we know he's not running far east, which I think if I was the hard player, I'd feel some sense of security in that. Checking there, I don't know if that really clears up a lot for you here.
I think that he's simply moving. I think that it's. This seems to say to me that either Van Helsing or Godalming is holding like is holding the third horse, and he's trying to get Seward to go visit the horse breeder.
It's true. Maybe Van Helsing has it, and they're gonna meet up in Marseille and trade horses. That would make sense.
Something like.
Okay. No Van Helsing ambush. But I think that stuff is something I'd be scared of a little bit. I mean, if I know he's in Central Europe and I don't know what he's doing. Although the whack cylinders gives you a little bit of security that at least I suppose he could have gotten there and then hid today, and then you would still be in a bad spot. But it's very high risk, right? If Van Helsing survives because he has like a random holy circle, you feel pretty bad about that. Like that's not the situation. You put a lot of time and effort into that to get foiled by like an escape route or a holy circle, and then the hunters know where you are, and you lose a lot of obfuscation that way.
Yeah.
Are we searching what's in Zurich, or are we leaving it? I feel
like
we should search it.
I would search it.
I'd want to scan with Mina, because he's probably not in Italy, but I mean, it's really convenient to scan while you're both here. I think that's why he moved Mina to 60, was to scan.
Most
right?
likely.
Why put her in danger from the encounter unless you were going to scan? Okay,
Saboteur. Well, that's...
Does he have a gun?
I know he probably does, but does he show it? Or, honestly, you recall how Mina was showing a heavenly host? So one of Godalming's other things is likely a heavenly host, and the other a knife.
That's true.
So actually, it's quite possible that he doesn't have one.
I do think that Mina and Godalming are less likely to have rifles and pistols, just because with the turbo supplying of Godalming and the fact they can only keep 3 items each, they're probably going to have like stakes, heavenly hosts, and knives over those things.
Yeah, stakes is another good point. We don't have any of the discard yet.
Mina scans? Or does maybe he want to make that horse a kind of better? He's passing? Huh? What? Did I miss something? He's passed with Mina?
Yeah, why didn't you at least scan?
That's a pretty free scan in there.
A set maturing it? That's funny.
Well, it's the second Saboteur, the Saboteur brothers, in Geneva and Zurich, apparently.
That's definitely very strange. I would expect that to have been layered.
maybe block between John Stewart and Marseille if you think there's going to be some trading going on. Maybe force them to go to 8 instead. Because 8 is less centrally located.
Eine.
Maybe block off the rail between 29 and 42. No, it's blocking their road to Marseille. Okay.
Well, with horses, that's gonna be pretty inconsequential, I think.
I mean, Godalming is already delayed today, so he wasn't going to move.
Yeah, honestly, I disagree with that choice. Unless he's trying to stop others from getting to him. Like,
Is it a mind game to make them think that way, right? I do wonder if he just didn't scan because he thinks Spencer would never go to Ireland because of the later start. But I feel like again, you should always check. I mean, especially when it's kind of free like that. You should always check.
yeah. What?
Mistakes are made. Always forward.
It may be one of the Randiv's autopilot things that he's told me about. So it's possible that he passed without when he meant to scan. Because if he wasn't going to scan, I would have checked Nuremberg.
Well, right, or just don't put Mina in danger there. Like, if there's a wolves or like a mob on that in space, there's no reason to also move Mina there before you search it. It just puts her in more danger. Unless you think it's like a new vampire you want to fight, but that feels pretty like that. I don't know if you make movements on that assumption. Okay, Marseille not on the trail.
Yeah, we kind of knew
really
that.
Yeah, misdirect kind of took care of that. It is interesting. John Seward was on 48, right? And then he moved to 54. So I suppose it's possible that if he did wolf form into Spain, he could have wolf formed to 8, or he could have wolf formed to 4, and then hid the day after John Seward used wax cylinders to not move through 48.
No, there was enough trail down the last time. I mean, 8 is still possible, yes, but 4, not 4, no.
Because he used that wax cylinders when? It was the day after the wolf form location, right? It was like wolf form. I don't remember specifically when it was, but
it was.
Was there 2 spaces on the trail or 1? I think there was 2. I think it was wolf
there
form and then 1 space.
Yeah, there were at least 2.
So it was so yeah, he couldn't have been hiding in 4 then because then it would have shown up. Okay, so yeah, he either went to 8 or he didn't go to Spain. I feel like he just did some like Germania wolf form actually, or Italy. But,
yeah, my prediction.
Hopefully he's gonna check Italy today.
My prediction would be Nuremberg. Of course, all of this is on the assumption that Marseille is the thing that got misdirected.
That's true. I think if he's going Germania, maybe he like goes to Munich or something. Like he just wants a further north, like wolf form. Maybe he goes to Nuremberg. I kind of thought it would be Marseille on the assumption that he'd want to like go to Spain, because I mean Marseille wolf form is renowned for its kind of web of double road.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Uh-oh. Bit of a.
Hey, you caught me for a second there.
Having.
Looks like technical difficulties.
Yes, sometimes my Steam client has a bit of trouble keeping up. Let's just hope that won't keep happening. It happens from time to time. Usually it doesn't keep happening. Let's just hope that proves to be the case.
You and me both. I've had that issue frequently in the past. I can empathize. It looks like there was some item trade on John Stewart and Van Helsing, so maybe the horse breeding is happening in Marseille.
Yes. The thing is that we know that if so, it's specifically one giving it their only horse, because we know that both Mina and Godalming have one.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You probably want, if you have it on Van Helsing, you probably want to give it to Seward.
Yeah, you want your point man to have one.
Yeah, the old man is great at many things, but running headfirst into encounters, he is not. Not as good as John Seward.
Yeah. And,
I do wonder if we're going to see that scan today. Maybe that's why he didn't move Mina, as he realized that he didn't scan.
Oh,
yes.
Whoa.
Oh, and it's paying off big.
Oh.
He did go into Italia. Okay.
That means for him to still be in Italy, I think that means that he has to have gone down the boot.
mean, yeah, he's almost certainly in the boot, or he like went back in. He went in a little bit, but then doubled back out. Although I feel like doubling back out into this feels a little bit unnecessarily risky, since they're all kind of grouped up around the entrance to Italy. It feels pretty bad not to have
Okay.
scanned that yesterday, though. Knowing for sure that he's in Italy a day earlier would have been kind of big.
Well, yes, but at the same time, no.
Just
Gul'daming was delayed. Seward and Van Helsing were planning to meet up in Marseille anyway, so what else would they have done?
I suppose that's kind of true. Mina could have moved, but that's really it. I suppose it
Yeah.
wasted, like, I think Mina did still apply in a small city, which maybe isn't ideal, but is what it is.
So I would say
Still
that
supplying.
the best thing to do would be to move Mina to Venice. She's holding an excellent weather. Dracula knows this. Threatened to be able to wolf to excellent weather across the Valona ahead of him. To try to force him to see a little bit sooner.
He will have his wolf form back, so he could wolf form through her. But if he doesn't, it's pretty telegraphed. I suppose it's possibly wolf forms back through Venice, but yeah. But I think you just need to, if you want to deal with these encounters, you kind of start moving towards Italy. I'd want to maybe keep some people in reserve to try to, like you said, because I think going to the east after Italy is very common. I think what he's going to do is leave via the Tyrrhenian, and then wolf form move one space, and then like we'll do some sort of wolf form from the Med, is my guess.
Well, yeah, make himself able to move one space for a bit of obfuscation, make them want a money trail hypnosis, type thing.
Exactly, right? Kind of split the map in half, as other people call it, right? And then if he does do that, he can go back to his layers, which I know he likes to do, and then,
yeah,
it's kind of the goal of setting him up, right? Although maybe the problem with doing that is that he would then, like, let's see, he was in Zurich, he moved presumably to Marseille, will form to 20, he'd have to be 1, 2, 3, he'd had to have hid by now if he just went straight into Italy. Which it looks like he did, because neither 25 nor 57 are spaces. So he's definitely hiding somewhere. I guess the wax cylinders will be kind of nice, just to see what sea he's leaving from today.
Yes. Oh, well, that's nice.
Ooh, that's also
yeah.
Nice.
We can now just flip up some stuff. Whoa! No Bari. Looks as if he was standing right next to them in Milan.
Perhaps. Did he wolf form? He can't have wolf formed into Italy then, because they've got 25 and 57 both covered. Right? He didn't wolf form to Florence, because he would have had to move back out. So did he wolf form like into Germany and then walk back towards them? Like walk through Munich onto 37 maybe or something? Or was he in 24? No, 24 is a lair.
I think that... Actually, I think...
24 is not a lair.
He intentionally... Well, that's the thing. 24, all the connections to Italy have been cut off now. So he didn't do 24 business. I think that what happened is he went to Nuremberg, Prague, Vienna, Munich, and then most recently to Milan. Or, no, except that... Not quite.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe he went like...
What did he
wolf formed in
misdirect?
Germania.
So I
He
think...
misdirected the space before the wolf form. So it would
Yes.
have like 41 or something.
So, therefore... What if he did... I think that maybe he did go into the east a little, but came back.
Well, they scanned the day after. They scanned his wolf form location, so we didn't wolf form into the east, because they would have picked him up.
I'm guessing that the wolf form was... Okay, so going to meet with Seward, see if he's still in Italy, but I think that he moved it to Munich right now. I would have checked that.
The question is, if he was in Milan, right? How did he get to Milan? Did he get to Milan from, like? I think he's in 24. I think he wolf formed, moved, because notably Strasbourg, his starting location isn't a lair either. So I think he made Strasbourg a starting lair, cleared it, moved back to Strasbourg, and moved through there to 24. And that's when he was picked up, was on 24. Because if he was in Milan, right? How did he get there? Did he move back through Munich into Milan? That feels really risky to just kind of run right between the net of people.
Well...
Well, how does he get out, right? Like, if he's in Milan right now, how does he get out of this situation? He can't move to Marseille. If he moves through Munich, he can't misdirect it. I guess he can today because he's going to get his misdirect back. So I suppose maybe that's not as big of a concern. But I I
Yeah,
feel like
this is
24 gives him
definitely
more escape options.
this is definitely a very good puzzle. Okay, yeah, he left Italy.
So it still could have been 37 or 24, right? He can go to Munich from
Not
37. He
well, I suppose it
could
could
be
have been.
24. He could have gone to Paris. 15,
Yeah.
51.
Hmm.
Although I think he probably had to move through 51 to get there, unless he was doing some like France shenanigans. Although they checked Nantes. Oh wait, they checked Nantes really early. Never mind, they checked Nantes like day 2. Nantes doesn't matter. It could be Nantes.
This is. I mean, people in the chat, what do you think?
I feel like he was trying to bait them by moving back into Italy because he saw that they were situationed there to scan. So I think he moved back into Italy to like make them think he went to the booth, and then maybe make them like start moving that way, which they did, to waste their time. That's my guess. I think he like just like nipped into Italy to kind of fool the scan because they're not going to move to 24, right? They have no reason to. Maybe that's why he matured the Saboteur, because if he layers it and then he clears the layer, it's pretty obvious what's going on, right? But if he matures it, then they think, oh, maybe he wants a Saboteur for some reason, right? It doesn't immediately throw suspicion on 24.
Wow. Well,
It's
now,
not great.
well, now he can move to Milan and check. So it was Geneva. He stepped into Geneva briefly.
I think he's trying to kind of chase them into, or get them to run into Italy.
So so now he's either. Okay, so that solves that small piece, but what now?
I think he's moving towards Spain, I guess.
Yeah,
15,
he could well be in
54.
Toulouse. He could well be in Toulouse right now.
A lot depends on where he will form to. Like, did he will form north and then come south, or did he will form west and then go east? Right? Like, where was he originally? Like, where's he moving? Like, is he doing a circle? Like, is he gonna? Like, like that's what I really want to know. Because this wolf form's gonna mature probably, right? He's not gonna get there. There's just so many spaces it can be at this point. After someone explained to me why that was spaced out. What? Geneva? Because he matured it. Didn't make it a layer.
That was matured. Not onto a layer.
We shouldn't. I don't want.
Base rules are allowed. That's a base rule.
Something you could have noticed. But.
That.
Maybe I'm a little bit cautious. I like to just keep my. I'm wary of. I'm not sure exactly where the line is, so I like keep myself well clear of it. But I think the difference is like saying that matured things don't become layers is a basic rule. Saying that a specific place in the board was not matured or was matured and therefore didn't become a layer feels a little bit different. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who plays Fury of Dracula for fun and commentates it occasionally. Well, what is Mina doing today? Is she checking?
I would check. I would check. Yeah, I would check Clermont-Ferrand.
Figure out whether he's going into Spain, maybe. Because if he's not 15, then he had to go. Oh, we're checking Marseille again.
Well, that was where Van Helsing was standing just a minute ago. Not sure.
Maybe wanted to be on the rail line for something. Maybe has like a good ticket. Wants to get to like
charred carriage.
Maybe
charred carriage, perhaps. Okay, wax cylinders.
Okay.
This may tell us something. Okay, so he never hid.
Well, it makes sense. You know they have wax cylinders, and Spencer doesn't like hiding very much anyway, so...
Yeah, so what...
That makes sense.
I will admit that what Spencer's done has me a little bit baffled here.
Well, I didn't think he's doing circles of some kind. I don't know whether he circled, like, in Germania, or whether he's doing it in France, or what. But I feel like he has Zurich as a layer.
I think that Wolfhorn is at Bordeaux. Then he went Nantes, and then Paris, then back to Geneva from Marseille.
Very, very possible.
So,
Well, wolf form location matures or layered. We'll see. Maturing of bodyguards.
okay. That's a good one, sure.
That makes me feel like it's somewhere out of the way. I feel like if it was something like 8, you might want to layer it just to... Because they might just step onto 8, like, accidentally, right? Like, because 8's kind of well-traveled.
Yes.
But also, you just mature the bodyguards because the bodyguards is value, and guaranteed bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, as they say.
Also,
Or
it can
they
get
say,
you...
but-
Also, it's one of those things that can get you information when it's checked.
True. Now they have
So-
no idea where it was because it was mature and bodyguards does not reveal where it was hidden.
Yeah. If the hunters had caught on one way or another, they had he could have gotten a certainty as to one thing someone is holding.
Well, I feel like he's gonna kind of get found out. Geneva being discovered, like the Italy scan, was nice in that like he can check 51. Like he's gonna start finding out where this trail is in a matter of days. I don't know if he's gonna be able to stop this next thing from maturing, but the thing after it and Geneva are probably gonna get mopped up. The question is how long is that gonna take them to do? Like, is it vampires? Is it just like wolves and spies and nonsense like that?
Well, I imagine that he's gonna have to try some vampires soon.
Checking Munich. Okay.
Cons-
Makes sense. Make sure he's not running into the east.
Yeah, that's... Well, considering where people were standing, I think that was, like, nigh impossible for Geneva.
Oh, true. Because Zurich's a lair. Yeah, you're right. That's actually not
Yeah.
possible. I forgot that Zurich was a lair. Yep. So, okay.
Yeah, I think that I would have got... I might have checked Nuremberg, like, see if the... Okay, yes. Looks like
Maybe
I
it
have
was
it.
like a Bordeaux.
Yeah,
Bordeaux
looks
or
like
Nantes or something.
looks like I may have called it there. Yeah, Bordeaux, Nantes, Paris, Geneva. Which means that if I'm right and Mina rules well, she may be able to get there and stop it, depending on what it is.
True. I mean, or any kind of decent rail ticket.
Oh.
No longer revealing a horse, actually, a
Oh.
pistol. That is, that's something.
That's funny.
Did she get rid of the horse? The horse hasn't been discarded, hasn't? That would have been news if that happened. No? Okay, so... Did she trade it? But hold on, she didn't trade with anybody, did she?
Not that I saw.
Why
This
is she
is...
revealing a pistol?
I don't know.
Because you have to very specifically click change revealed item. It doesn't just happen, right? Like, this is a choice by Randiv. Unless he traded away the horse. Wait, hold on. Did Van Helsing just horse? Did he just horse?
No, he was sitting in Geneva.
Right, okay, he didn't horse. So, what is...
Okay,
good check.
so, yeah. Good check, good check.
So he's moving back towards the west now. So now you just gotta kind of hightail people that way.
Yeah, set up your Coast Guard if he ends up going, like, committing to Spain, which I expect is what's going to happen. Okay, time to start clearing up trail.
Yeah, there's no
Still
reason not to keep spamming the wax cylinder.
Yeah, if you have your tickets fixed, then there's no reason not to.
Okay.
Steak,
That's
and
steak.
that was a spy.
Okay. Well, Van Helsing, if he doesn't have a horse, he probably has at least one weapon that he can
Unlo-
discard if he likes his tickets.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh,
that's scary.
oh,
That's scary to
RV,
look at.
CG, and SR. So, however, that ticket really could hurt.
Yeah, because he had no choice. He had no weapons there, so he had to discard the tickets. Did Van Helsing have white wands?
Possible,
Well, that's big.
although less likely than. Whoa. Okay. Not exactly what you'd expect, but.
Perhaps he was worried he would get jumped on when he was there. Like a little
Yeah,
because there were people nearby.
Not to mention that was where he went directly after the scan hit him.
Like an evil presence or something getting picked up, because there was people in Marseille. Like there was maybe reasons for him to be a little bit afraid there.
Yeah, now that I think of it, it does make sense. Brussels.
Oh, Brussels.
So
So maybe it was like a Nuremberg wolf form then.
Uh,
Nuremberg, Brussels.
Ner-
He went to Paris.
uh,
Ooh. Yeah, I've heard.
ow.
Yeah, the spy told you he had no weapons, so now Van Helsing's at 4. He does have a holy circle, so he's not getting killed by a
Yes.
vampire, but like another wolves and he's just dead.
Not to mention that Van Helsing has a stake on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
However, now the hunters have the trail far more under control. Godalming can investigate Geneva, uh, and then I would have Seward go to Marseille. Uh, make sure he's not doubling back east.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would not be shocked if there. I think you're right. I think, and nothing else is gonna mature. I would not be shocked if there was a vampire in 24, just for like some security in case he did get found out, because he was like, both Godalming and Mina were right on 60 when he was there. So I would not be surprised if there's some sort of like
Yeah.
protective vampire.
Yeah,
scene in
admittedly,
24.
Godalming was delayed at the time, so
Oh, that's
during
true.
the day.
So it just would have been Mina actually. So maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care. The fact that he didn't ambush makes me think he's probably not reckless. But maybe he's didn't know if they had stakes, didn't want to tip his hand. Because there's night fights with reckless vampires can be nasty.
Well, yeah, but with no stakes in the discard,
You're probably sure they have some stakes, yeah. At
if
least one,
if it's a
probably two.
vampire, it's likely an aristocratic.
Yeah.
Is my opinion.
I just feel like it's so hard to place an aristocratic vampire right there when there's so many of them so close to you. I feel like the self-preservation instinct kicks in. Although, like you said, Godalming delayed, so Godalming was going to hit you for sure.
Yeah, and at the time, Seward was at Toulouse with obviously without a horse, and Van Helsing had only just landed when that happened. So I think that he was actually relatively secure.
He went into Spain because now 39 being checked means he had to have moved. I suppose it. Wait, people have been in Marseille, right? There's no way it was. Yeah, Mina went to Marseille last turn. So unless he's like done like 8, 54, 36, he's probably in Spain in some capacity right now.
Yeah, if he's in Marseille, he's only just gone there.
Yeah. Like he'd have to have done a really long loop to get back to He'd have to have just because Mina just left, like you said. Yeah. Wait, did Mina just take it during the day?
Possibly trying to recover from the spy. She is she is fogged, so
yeah.
And she has stuff and she has full event capacity. Possibly all of them are good, so doesn't want to take risks.
I know if you're white ones, this is the point in the game where you need movement really highly, so I could see taking a day rail ticket just to try to guarantee that movement as much as you can, right? Try to get that white one ASAP.
Yeah, the fact that Godalming is suddenly ticketing as well seems to indicate that Van Helsing had at least one.
At least one white one went down with the ship. Yeah, I would be shocked if he had both if he didn't have a horse. Like, it feels pretty not smart putting both your white ones on the person who will need to move by rails because he's not going to have a horse the whole game. And he was trading with John Seward, so unless they had... And even then, you can give John Seward 2 white ones, although maybe you don't want to do that for some reason, but... I feel like you wouldn't put both white ones on Van Helsing. One I could see really reasonably. I could see one.
Yeah... One thing that Randiv definitely needs to like get cracking, because we are now nearing the end of week 2. I'm sure Dracula hasn't gotten any influence, but at the same time he's only taken 1 damage from 1 wolf form.
Well, normally this is where I would be saying something like, "Oh, they have 53 events in the deck yet, so their events probably, they should have been supplying more." But we know they have CG and Renewed Vigor, so I mean, obviously you want more events than that, but those are 2 of the better ones. So they're mildly well stocked. I mean, you want movement events as well, and you want other stuff, but they have some good stuff.
I mean,
it's okay.
To that comment, I reply, everyone. All 4 of them have 3 events in hand, so I mean the only person who could be even holding another is Seward.
Well, yeah, but they're probably not all stellar, right? Like there's probably a Long Night kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, Blood Transfusion. I mean, I partially agree. Basically, I'm saying that I partially agree. But.
spy.
What is that? Where did that come from?
Geneva. It's a day
Uh,
search as well, so perhaps he was scared of a vampire. Having to fight it.
Yeah, evidently because you searched it without without a stake makes sense.
Well, and I get having the spy. Spy is kind
And
of offensive,
he
right? Like, if you're gonna
discarded
fight him, you know what their hand is.
yeah, and he discarded a knife. Yep.
That's
Oh,
pretty bad. You like knives a lot. He must have one of the other white ones if he's discarding knives.
yeah. I mean, Gul'daming of all people is bound to have one.
Might be an issue now if he's trying to supply for the second one, because you don't want to hit the second one and then have to discard it because of his double. Unfortunately, the clerks at the station are just like, sir, you can't leave without your second ticket. You paid for both. It's a buy one get one just for you because you're part of the aristocracy.
Okay, good.
So
That's good news for the hunters. Mia has checked Toulouse now, so he has not gone through Marseille.
yeah, so he's in Spain for sure, 100%. Moved to
Yeah.
47 last term, so he went 47, and now he could be 12. He could be really anywhere in Spain, really.
Yeah, so eventually he'll be forced out to sea, and he knows that they
47.
And he knows that they have a renewed vigor, and a renewed vigor, a CG, and an excellent weather.
So Cagliari maybe not your best friend. We'll see. Mina's still revealing the excellent weather, so at least Dracula kind of knows where that excellent weather is, right? If Mina's like on the far side of
on
Spain,
the assumption that there isn't another.
That's true. But he's only gone, 22 cards deep. So I think he has some good events. I wouldn't count on him having, everything.
Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting that at this point, we should expect to see a vampire any moment now. There's only 6 encounters left in the encounter deck. I will also say that I expect to see a Desecrated Soil or two soon.
Just to heal from moving to sea.
Yeah, that's a very typical thing for Drax to do in general, like to prepare for sea journeys.
Yeah. Get your passport, get your Desecrated Soil, just all the bare necessities, What? What do the hunters... The hunters need to go into Spain, right? They gotta deal with this trail.
Yeah. How...
Do you check Madrid today? Do you check 48? Saragossa? What are you doing today, John Stewart?
I would check Madrid, because you'll want to know when he went there, if at all. He has not yet gone there. Ooh, that means that there's possibility that if they have all the heavenly hosts, there could be a nuke at Granada. The number of spaces matches, so since Van Helsing is holding on to it, if he has not hidden with wax cylinders, that seems to say that he's at Granada.
It seems possible. He doesn't know they have CG, though. I don't know if Spencer would put himself in that position knowing they have CG.
Yes, but will Randiv realize it? That he has that opportunity?
I suppose it's true that if he went to Santander, right? Santander.
We know Santander
if he
for
went
sure.
either way around the wheel and he didn't hide, he has to be in 26 right now. If he went to Saragossa,
Yeah,
Alicante.
so therefore wax cylinders, and then if he's not hidden and you have all the heavenly hosts, boom, dead.
Yeah, that's just true. Who has it? Van Helsing has it, right?
Van Helsing...
They might not have perfect CG, though, because there's still 14 cards in the item deck.
However,
okay,
Spencer has been keeping that in mind. So...
Makes sense,
Yeah.
You know they have CG 100%. You don't move to the insta-kill spot. It's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, if he had... that begs the question, do you... do you, do it anyway? no, you want to clip. Whoa. Well, I suppose if there's someone who you don't mind him getting fogged, now you know that there's no more fog. So
Yeah, I mean,
that means that
that's
you
kind
can
of
do.
okay.
That means that if he chooses to stay, like with a feed, uh, with that information, you could have Van Helsing drop the renewed vigor and have all three of them pounce on him. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, it's nice for Dracula now if there is a Renewed Van Helsing will be able to participate, but it's kind of nice as hunters. You want to have someone on that port for proximity events anyway, so if Dracula does go to sea, I think I'm kind of okay with Van Helsing being stuck
yes,
on that port.
if there's someone you don't mind, especially with how Van Helsing was equipped, and he hasn't gotten any supplies in, we still know his hand.
True.
So therefore,
Taking some
so that,
mandated time off right now.
yeah. So getting deeper into that deck, possibly finding a third Heavenly Host, because Heavenly Host wasn't one of the things he showed, was it? It was a garlic, a holy circle, and a horse.
And steak, yeah. And steak, I believe. He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't know
steak. Right, steak.
Yeah, and there's no way you move there, right? Because if you move, you have to like wolf form to Alicante or 48. It's not a great. You definitely go to sea. You know they have CG. They're really close right now. They have CG and Renewed Vigor. You don't move there. It's so risky.
So now I would say Goldaming and Seward clean up down here while Mina starts heading east. Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
You might want Godalming to like sit on Marseille and like supply just because he's knight him down right now.
Yeah, due to the loss of the knife. Yeah.
Because I think as a hunter player, the med seems a lot more likely to me than the North Atlantic. I mean, both are possible. You plan for both, but the wolf form from the med is so strong, and he has so many layers over there.
Yes. However, all of them are flipped up. How likely is he going to go back there? Not all that likely, in my opinion.
I mean, we haven't seen fighter vampires yet. I would not be shocked if there is a fighter vampire, at least one, in one of those two layers, if not both. Like, the fighter vampires have got to have been going somewhere.
Yeah.
They've not been on the trail.
At least not yet.
Not yet. It's true. Okay, it's discarding some dogs. Or who discarded dogs? What?
That was Van
Why did I
Helsing.
see dogs? Oh. Why are they gathering up in Barcelona right now? Why did Godalming move there?
I don't know.
Is he worried about him wolf forming back into Spain?
I
don't know. The fog will hopefully be away by the time he lands, which will be nice for the hunters.
Well, he's
They'll
definitely not. He is definitely not going to wolf on shore immediately. So he's gonna move by sea at least once.
So Van Helsing will be able to move the next day. Like he could Renewed Vigor and check a bunch of spaces if he wanted to. You'd really hope to catch him because I don't think there's been any proximity events.
Not yet.
So
no.
It'd be nice to get one of the four on.
There's our first vampire.
Yeah, aristocratic.
Aristocratic at Santander.
Probably 20 kilo on Van Helsing, right? Just getting back to full strength. Unless you need to make a trade happen. I imagine that's what I do. Whenever I'm taking a long time on Van Helsing here, it's because I'm looking at every hunter and being like, do any of these things need to move? If not, heal. Because he has Holy Circle, he's fine. He's not going to die to some random Dracula fight, right? He doesn't discard the Holy Circle. No, he is not.
Yeah.
He is trading with Seward. Interesting.
Yeah. I completely agree with Van Helsing's. I mean, yeah, there's now that so long as he's outside of the range of 4, for random wolves or bodyguards,
missed out on the bad manner scan. Never mind. Yeah, sorry, you were saying wolves?
So long as he, so So long as he has more than 4 health for a random wolves or bodyguards encounter, uh, he's fine. He can trade. Uh,
Yeah, 6 is healthy enough. He's not gonna die out of the blue.
especially,
And Dracula's not maturing an encounter anytime soon.
yeah, especially with that holy circle. Uh, it's quite possible that he may have traded the renewed vigor and CG to Seward, as Seward is the hardest hunter to kill.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think they gained any new events, because they were drawing Dracula. Oh no, Van Helsing actually did. He did draw a new event before he traded, so maybe there was like a strategic event trade there, or maybe he was just trying to put him on a safe hunter.
He had to discard it. He had to discard one.
Well, right, but he got something new, is what I'm trying to say. Like, there was new information he had before he made the trade. Although it couldn't have been wax cylinders. Because I already had it.
Okay, holy bullets and a garlic.
I would be tempted to supply on Sewer today, although he needs them out of the trail too, but getting a proximity event today would be huge. It'd be really big. Okay, or is he gonna do Clean Trail? That's also fine. I think leaving extra time to clean up the trail is a worthy endeavor.
Yes, especially with a high card that could easily be like a bats. I mean, we know.
I mean, yeah. So,
I mean that
we know
he's out of. We know that he's out of saboteurs. So
yeah.
And he's out of fog. So in terms of delaying events, there's really only bats left.
It would be a pretty big pain to have to move like Mina or Godalming over there the days when they want to be checking places or supplying instead. Like moving either of them to 12 would require, an event or 2 days of movement.
What I would do is, Mina I would definitely supply today because she has only 2 items right now. I think due to a nighttime trade they did. But I would be moving someone in the direction of the UK.
I think Spencer wants these layers. I think these are maybe I'm thinking he might go North Atlantic just to like get back to his maybe he goes to his Paris lair, and then goes to Strasbourg and then to Zurich or something along those lines. But I feel like Spencer, the lack of fighter vampires makes me think they're under these layers. I don't think Spencer's gonna just give them up. I don't think he's gonna go to England.
Well, regardless, I would go either to Marseille, or just Clermont-Ferrand, so that you're, whoop.
Oh, you're just one of those fighting vampires.
Night fight too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good old aristocratic followed by fighter, baiting out the stake. Because the aristocratic got staked.
So now the stake can't be used here. Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
And we've seen, no other stakes have been discarded. So clearly people got stakes that they haven't been drawn yet.
I mean, we know that Van
Helsing has one.
Yeah. This is going to. It's actually possible that there could be a holy bullets around. There's only one left, but ooh,
the dodge meta believers in shambles. That is it's not what you want to see Dracula doing turn 1.
Yeah. The ideal.
I mean, I see why he did it, right? Like, reckless vampires like to fang. Turn 1.
Or since this is a night fight, he might want to just claw you for a 4. In truth, especially in the case of a night fight, I will often dodge as a hunter to basically see what Drax's gonna do, and then base what you do after that based on that. But that's not always the best idea.
But we don't know what Seward has, right? He has 2 items. I feel like with that Mesmerize, what's on both people's minds right now is Fangs, right? Does the Dracula play Fangs now? Does Seward have an item that can counter Fangs?
I would imagine so. I
feel like he would play a Claws or something. Like something in the middle of the road.
Earlier, I would do a Strength. He does try to escape, so Oh, ho, ho,
Ooh,
ho.
it's
We
out
can
of it
that
semi-scot-free.
that's yeah, and that destroys the vampire.
Yes, it does.
However, that weakens the CG,
And he's
and
landing today, so you kind of might have wanted that CG. But yeah, I mean,
well,
okay, I see that it's
we
landing
don't
today.
we don't
It's
know that he's landing today, but it makes sense for
probably
him to
landing.
do
Okay,
so.
maybe he's not landing today. I feel like he's probably. Spencer likes it. I feel like these are maybe he's not doing it because he's done it all tournament. He's gonna change it up and not go back to the layers. But if he's going back to these layers, I feel like the day to full form is now. Unless he wants to go like all the way to North Sea and then like maybe traipse around in Germany a little bit before he goes back to his layers. I could see that. But like Tyrrhenian feels a little bit. The wolf forms from Tyrrhenian back west are not amazing.
Yeah, I agree that if he does a third space, it'll either be English Channel or North Sea. Uh, because that would, especially after that use of a Henley host, there's no nuke in Manchester anymore. So the UK, if you went North Atlantic, the UK might be very attractive now.
Is that a C move or a wolf form? It's a
And
C move. Okay.
now, if the hunters have money trail, now is the time to use it.
100%. Yes, it is. The question is, do they have it? There was a lot of trading with Godalming early, right? Maybe one of those trades was to give him a money trail.
Yeah. So
The other question is,
with the success in dealing with that reckless, I think that Sewer can deal with Cadiz on his own.
I mean, he can if there's not a bats there, right? Like bats would just not. He would not have enough time if there's a bats.
Yes, and I get the feeling that Cadiz will likely be a vampire as well. I think that Seward is taking a leaf out of my book and just building a gauntlet of vampires now.
Yeah. I could see it being a hoax. Because I don't think he was in a
True.
lot of danger. He was kind of obfuscated while he was in Spain for a while, like until that final day when he was able to bounce. Because if he puts down a fighter vampire, that weakens his layers. But if he puts down a hoax, like he wasn't going to use the hoax and layers anyway, and it's still a huge threat because if it matures,
Okay,
he's gonna go.
where's
I don't think
Goldaman going?
Marseille.
I would go
15?
Clown Farand, be in between
Yeah,
the two possible uh
that's true.
the two possibilities, be a little bit closer to the UK, but at the same time,
The
be
rails are pretty good from 36. Like he'd get all the way to
true.
16. Or
Yeah,
Le Havre.
yeah, very true. Yeah, I suppose that Marseille makes a little bit more sense overall.
If he has good rail tickets, right? He does have a horse, so it's possible.
Oh,
Oh, well, that's not good.
that would have been excellent with Van Helsing, if that
Yes,
had been
that's
drawn
where
by
you wanted that card on
yeah,
literally anyone else.
yeah, literally anyone else, and that would have been excellent. That would have been a makeshift money trail. Admittedly not quite. Admittedly, in the case of North Atlantic, not quite as good, but
It's still pretty good. You could move people north and not worry about, the layers as much. Like you could, maybe if he's going north, you cover the Paris layer with someone. So he can't, like if he's English Channel right now, you cover the Paris layer so he can't wolf form to it. Although, I really thought he was going to land yesterday. I didn't think he was going for the 3C movements. I thought he would want to get on land while they were still tied up in Spain.
my prediction is English Channel, going up to either up to UK, threatening UK, and possibly wolf forming to his Paris lair.
Well, maybe he just doesn't care about the layers, right? Maybe he just does go UK, and he says, what are you going to do about it? Come after me.
Okay,
Whoa.
he's taking the precaution of sending Van Helsing down as well in the event that it is a bats.
Okay. I mean, a hoax would be pretty bad, because there's only 7 Dracula events, but, that's still a decent selection.
Yeah, and it only takes one for it to be just awesome for Drac.
Right, like an Unobtrusive Swiftness, a Darkness Returns, a Summon Storms if he goes into England could be devastating.
Yeah.
I maybe to a lesser extent, like a seduction or
I mean,
a nocturnal visit if he's in a lair and he knows they're gonna come after him.
yeah. Oh, please don't remind me of how I use that against one of our audience. The very mention of that event makes me just crack up a little.
Mhm. I mean, even something as like quote unquote harmless as like I don't know what's a harmless Dracula event. Like you got like a Great Wolf or something. I mean, I guess that would be very good. But I mean, he has 7, right? So even if there's a few mediocre ones in there, all it take. I mean, Enraged could be nice if he thinks he's gonna get into like a 1v1. I do not know the Dracula events as well as I should because they don't come up very often. I should
Well,
know them better.
I mean, a very harmless one would be Sensationalist Press.
Right.
But if they were to draw, but if like, but if like, for example, that local rumors had been drawn by Van Helsing, he might want to cancel it.
True.
Uh, Other ones would be like Custom Search. I mean, that's not harmless, but it's really not the worst thing either.
I mean, like he gets to pick from like if there was a hoax there, he would have gotten to go for whatever the best of 7 cards is.
Okay,
right? Which
Wolfhorn
is
to Shore.
presumably something useful.
So that's either
So-
Tyrrhenian North or English Channel.
If my game's against Geo or anything to go by, it's only Swansea.
I
Nobody ever does anything but Wolfhorn from English Channel to Swansea.
I mean,
But
I suppose that could also be Irish Sea, strictly speaking. But
I mean, it
but
could be.
It could be, but I kind of doubt that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he can Wolfhorn to Manchester knowing that the hunters can't.
Do not have perfect CG. Yeah.
Yes, but here's the thing. That could actually still be devastating. So long as they guess correctly where he came from, North or English Channel, they can force him back to the... like, in the event it was from North Sea, they can force him back to Edinburgh and force him to go back out to sea.
That's true.
And,
if it's English Channel, though, he can just go to Irish Sea, right?
Yeah, in the event it's English Channel, he's fine. But if they put the permanent token in 35, in good old Manchester, regardless of which one it is, and he is there.
Yeah, it would not be great. But I guess my real question right now is where are the rumor tokens this game? There's not been a single rumor token, which makes me think he's been saving them for his layers. But maybe he's not going to need his layers because it feels like he just kind of has the hunters.
Well,
he's still dealing with the trail in Spain, and he's landed today.
He knows that they have a renewed vigor, and a CG, so therefore going back, like announcing where he is, may not seem like the best of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he doesn't even need them, right? He just like they're still in Spain right now. He just landed. Wolf-formed from a sea space. He moved 3 spaces by sea and wolf-formed, and there's still 3 of them are still in Spain. That is crazy.
Very intriguing that he didn't ambush with the high card. Is this a double vamp?
I mean, if it's like, I guess it can't be fog. Maybe it's a bat, and he just wants to kind of like pseudo delay him 1 day longer, make him search because he knows now he won't be able to get the full value out of it.
Well, that's the thing. He would simply choose to interact with the real thing first.
Well, right. I think maybe he saw that the encounter is going to get searched by Van Helsing, right? So you might as well like make him lose 1 additional night action by batting him after if he searches instead of getting batted, he then moves 1 day later, gets delayed 1 day or 1 phase later, so he loses 1 additional action, and then he's also searching. He's also at 7 HP, right? There is maybe like if this is like I don't know double vampire or something. He
traded
the 1 night fight.
Oh, was that a supply or did he trade that off Van Helsing? By the looks of things, it could be
maybe
either.
Maybe they traded. Maybe that's what was up.
Could be either actually. Which also explains why Van Helsing went down there to supply Seward with a stake. Possibly more than one. Desecrated Soil.
Oh, and he doesn't have a Heavenly Host because he just used it.
Unless he has more than one.
It's true. With CG, you'd probably want to spread them out if possible. But
Yes.
We know Van Helsing has one, right? We saw one on Van Helsing. No, we didn't.
Unless Van Helsing just traded him one. but
Nope,
apparently not the case.
not revealed.
And it was
He
bats.
doesn't have bats. Okay.
So,
I mean, that's pretty good for Dracula. He's gonna get his mature effect. The hunters just spent like 2 days trying to deal with it unsuccessfully. Now they're both still in Spain. He's on land. He could be anywhere. He could be at 9 right now. He could be at 30. He could be as far as like, I don't know, 57 if he wanted to be. I mean, there's just he could be anywhere, right? And they're still in Spain.
yeah,
This latest trail.
what they need is a hypnosis money trail, or it. If you're honestly an excellent draw next turn would be next day would be in a newspaper actually.
Yeah, newspaper would tell a lot.
That would actually.
I think he went north rather than east, but yeah.
As do I. So
Nice.
I think that most likely one is English Channel. That just makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, but this is just I think it's a Dracula just kind of ran circles around the hunters this game.
At least so far, yeah. On the other hand, there have been no vampires getting through.
True, but he's only placed one fighter vampire, right? Like it's not like he's used many of his vampires.
True.
I think they're on these layers. I think that's what's up. I think there's at least one fighter vampire, or maybe two or three spread amongst these layers here.
Yeah.
Because he's been saving his rumor tokens for something. I mean, he didn't place one on the Reckless in Spain, which is maybe the one spot I would have considered doing it.
I think that the original intention was to go back to them, place fire vamps, and then rumor the layers. I agree.
But now you don't think he needs to? He just leaves him alone.
I think that.
What do you check with Godalming today? There's so many spaces. Okay, bats. You can move him back into Cadiz. Oh, you didn't make Cadiz a lair. He's not making new locations lairs, which makes me think the ones he have are valuable, right? Like he didn't want to unlayer any of the 3 he had.
Yeah, which is part of why I believe it's English Channel. Although the fact that he hasn't gone into them yet means that it may well be the North Sea.
Well, he could have done like, Brussels into Strasbourg and is keeping his options open. Like you said, right? Right now he has a lot of stealth. Maybe he doesn't want to give that up too soon, right? Let them kind of waste some turns moving around, and then eventually he'll go into his lair when they've maybe narrowed down.
You have a horse, Van Helsing. Why didn't you use that?
Guaranteed 2 movement over only potential 2 movement, maybe.
Possibly.
The steel horse, they call it, the train. Sometimes is very reliable. Sometimes there's a good reason to use it, even if you have a biological animal. What do we got? Not 16.
Not Cologne.
I'd want to check 9. I want to know if he went to Brussels.
I might actually drop CG simply to find information.
Like just as a catch-up mechanic to kind of like tell you, is he in England? Is he in... The problem is you only probably have 2, maybe 3 tokens, right? Probably 3.
Yeah.
Possibly 2.
There's only 4 things in the item deck left, so... Yeah. Statistically speaking, it's likely that he has both of the others. So this will be...
I mean, yeah, because if he did go 951, right, he probably wants to move to a lair today, but I don't know if he does want to move to a lair at all. Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, I think I agree with this decision, right? Just keep them in confusion for as long as possible.
Yeah, similar to how in my game of Scott Sword, even though all the commentators were saying get to Castle Dracula immediately, when I batted away with 1 health left, I did everything but the castle. I wanted to keep him in the dark as long as possible.
I think you're right about England, though. Because the problem with my theory of him, like, wolf forming onto land is that the layers would be cramping his movement through Central Europe right now. So like, if he
Yeah,
keeps just moving on land, I feel like he's probably just in England.
yeah, without a layer being flipped up, that is.
Did not rumor token his wolf form location, which is interesting.
Uh, hmm. It's
Because, I
possible.
mean, he's got to start playing them soon, or they're just not going to matter, right? The rumor tokens aren't going to mean anything.
Yes, but it's possible that he doesn't need them to with how with how much health he still has.
Right, but,
So
I mean, no reason to not accelerate your win condition if you can, right?
so next spot I would check uh would be
I want 9 check today. That's what I want. 9
yeah
and 30.
I would check
I
9
agree.
with him. I'd actually have Seward Supply. That might sound weird, but he's the one without a horse, so
Oh,
then
Seward doesn't have a horse? What? I thought he had a horse. Does he not have a horse?
uh or does he? It
Maybe he doesn't. I haven't been keeping great track of it.
I know that we know that Mina has one, and we know, or yeah, they've been getting traded about a bit.
I mean, because he checked, he moved on to Madrid, didn't he, from 8, John Seward?
Yes, but then Van Helsing went down and traded with him in Lisbon.
So maybe he gave Van Helsing the... Oh, no, he has a horse. Okay.
Okay,
Horse ownership reaffirmed.
okay, supply. I might just have Van Helsing supply, depending on what.
Well, it's a Dracula event, right? Like, what are you gonna... You're not gonna get anything out of that.
I mean, yes, but that's always going to be the case until you get rid of it.
I mean, it's also Saturday of week 3. Like,
We're running out
supplying
of
is good,
time.
yes.
Yeah.
But if he's in England right now, you gotta move, sister. You gotta, like... You gotta start getting to a coast if he's in England. Like, and
I
even
would.
if you do, he's probably just gonna leave by the time you get there.
Yeah, I would move Mia to Amsterdam. She has an excellent weather. She can. Oh.
Look, I mean, I'm never gonna be mad at someone moving to Amsterdam.
Scanning Germany.
Well, now that you've checked 7 and 16, he's not in Germany, is he? I suppose 30 is possible, but he would have had to have gone like 30, 21, 51, which then he also still wouldn't be in Germany, because there's no way he's hidden with black cylinders being on the table. That would just be foolhardy to give away your position.
I agree that I don't like that. I would have checked 9.
Like, unless he's hidden maybe in Strasbourg, knowing that he's going to move to a layer and be revealed next turn anyway, so who cares if he's revealed? But I feel like this whole layer thing was a great plan, but I don't think he needs it, right? He just goes to England and he's happy. I mean, and then if he has to, he can go back to the mainland and have his layers there. Like, if he has to leave England, he could go like, okay, I go from Edinburgh to North Sea to North Atlantic to English Channel, I will form back into Paris. I'm now gaining 3 points a move, and I'm now in a layer. What are you going to do about it? And then I can move from layer to layer. I can go from Paris to Geneva to Zurich.
Yeah, I agree that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that choice. I definitely would have checked 9. Either that or moved to Amsterdam or Hamburg to excellent weather.
Today's gonna say a lot, right? Because if he just normally land moves again, I don't think he's on mainland if he does that. Because I think he would have moved into a layer by this point, right? I mean, like, if he landed in 9, he could have gone to Le Havre or 51, but then after 51, he can only go to 41 or 21. Godalming was on 41 this last turn.
There will be the one remaining possibility that it was a wolf form to Nantes, and then he went back, and then he backtracked to Le Havre, and just now moved into Amsterdam from 9.
Going to Nantes feels like, why would you be that close to the like? They might just go to Nantes or Le Havre to get to England, and then randomly find you. That would not be what you'd want to see.
I agree that it's unlikely. So I agree that I've always thought that he's up in England.
Yeah, I think he's in England now. Like, this is too much movement. Unless he hid yesterday, he's definitely in England. I don't think he's just moving around on the mainland anymore.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for the Hunters.
Like, he doesn't have any points, right? But they have no way to, like, he's just so free right now. He's like a free range Dracula. He's just strutting around. He's having a good time. He's got these 3 layers. He's been prepping the whole game. The encounter deck just reshuffled, so he's gonna be able to redraw his fogs. I mean, it's a good day to be Dracula right now.
Yeah. And what's more, he may well have put down another desecrated soil to heal up the rest of his point.
Yeah, and he's got a full trail of encounters. I mean, like, there could be a hoax on that wolf form. There could be a vampire there. I mean, if it's a vampire, you know, you probably should have rumor token it because you had 3 rumor tokens you haven't used all game. But, like, these things could be anything, and there's no way the hunters are getting to them. I mean, like, if this is in England, at least the first 2 are maturing, unless he, like, moves today.
Yeah, and what's more, this is this is the last day of week 3, so he's gonna start scoring very, very soon.
Because he has still some time to move around in England, right? Like, if he wolf form to Swansea, he could still go 32, 35, 33, 43, hide, go back to English Channel if he wanted to. Or maybe he wolf forms to Manchester. No, I don't think he wolf form to Manchester. It feels... I guess you know he can't CG kill you. So maybe you do wolf form him. I don't know. But he has room to move around in England. He has room. For surezies.
Yeah.
Just like a string of bad luck of not drawing the local rumors on one of the 3 people that would have revealed something. I mean, and this is all, of course, discounting the fact that he just maybe went Tyrrhenian, wolf form to like 57, and just went to Italy, or just went to the east.
Yeah.
Because if either of these things are true, did Godalming check 38? I don't think he did. I don't think he checked
no, he checked Nuremberg, but not Munich.
So, I mean, he could just be also on the other side of the map right now. I mean, we have no idea, right? We have literally no clue. He has so much range of movement. I only think he didn't do that because of his layers, but I mean, he could have, and who's to say he hasn't, right? Nothing has suggested otherwise so far.
Yeah, so he needs to check that out.
I think he's in England now. Okay, he's going towards England. That he knows.
Yeah. I imagine he'll move Mina to Hamburg.
Yeah.
But if he did go east, he'll just be laughing.
I mean, yeah. I think England's more likely, but east is very possible. I've seen nothing to disabuse me of that notion. The only reason I think he would is because of his layers, but maybe Spencer is a good enough player to realize when he doesn't need the layers, you know? He just doesn't need them. Just throw him to the side, just go east.
Or when the layers would do him more harm than help, as that would just say, "Here I am, come get me." Ah, found a newspaper. It was Tyrrhenian.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Now you feel pretty bad. You moved everyone towards England, because everybody, myself included, Blazin included, we all thought it was England. Was not in fact England.
Why didn't you not do that at dawn, by the way? Not rather than waiting for dusk.
Did he supply with anybody today?
I suppose.
That would be my guess. Maybe he supplied.
Wait, no. Everyone moved. Godalming went to Leipzig.
Then that is a mystery. I don't know why he wouldn't just done it at dawn.
Yeah, doing that at dawn. Yeah, that would have meant that Godalming and Mina could have horsed down to Vienna, and then, well, everyone else could have gone in the correct direction.
Right, you wouldn't be moving people to Le Havre.
Yeah.
If you knew he was going Tyrrhenian. Well, you know, it looks bad based on the Hardy's movement, but at least they might be able to get to these encounters. Like, you know, he's out on the mainland. There's some world where they, like, reinvigor onto him, if they can find him. Like, I want Munich to be checked so I know if he went east or not. But, I mean, like, this is better than England. If he was in England right now, I mean, they'd be maximum... Like, they could maybe get one person on him with renewed vigor. But if he's on the mainland, more things are open, right? They can move more freely.
Yeah, so this is definitely good and bad news at the same time.
Yeah. Like, there's a reason we assumed England, because England is kind of removed, but I mean, it's still pretty bad for the Hunters because they were kind of actively moving away from this. This is why I don't like moving unless I know where he is, just because there's times like this where you find yourself where you are actively hurting your position by moving. Although, I think I probably would have done the same thing as Randiv here. I think I would have moved to the ports, assuming that he was on England, because England just looks so appealing.
Yeah, although you
So I think it's
almost
hard
certainly
to
would have
look at it too
newspapered,
critically.
you would have done your newspaper at dawn instead.
Well, you know, who can say? Probably, but no backseat hunting here. Only a little bit. Minimal backseat hunting. Minimal.
Yeah. Speedy telegraph. And I'm gonna guess if he's using that, he's likely gonna do the renewed vigor as well. Yep. There it goes.
But I mean, like, they're so out of position right now. Like, they have so much ground to cover, and this is gonna help, yeah. But I don't think they're gonna be able to jump on him today.
No, but it'll help close the distance, like get to the encounter, make sure that he doesn't mature any vampires. Because. Okay.
Why are you moving Mina first? Do you have hypnosis? No, you have tight bond. Well, I don't know.
I disagree with that one.
Yeah, I don't think he was in Germania. He has no reason to move that close to you guys.
Yeah, I would have just go, get to Munich.
Like, check Munich. Like, put Godalming on Munich right now. That's what I want. Did he go east? Munich will tell you if he went east or not. You just need to go to Munich. It's that easy. And I know you played Speedy Telegraph, so you want to move the other people first, but sometimes it's okay with Speedy Telegraph to move one of Godalming's actions first, you know? Because that's just, I think 38 is really a linchpin right now. Because if he's not in 38, it means he probably went down to the boot, or he, like, did some weird backtracking. Although with Zurich being a layer and Geneva being a layer, it's a little bit hard. So he either went through Munich and went east, or he's hiding out in Italy
okay,
right now.
I think I see why he did it first. Mina's the one that does not have a horse.
So she wasn't gonna be able to move much anyway. So at least this way you kind of guarantee. Because imagine if he is in Germania. Right?
Yeah.
Then that's pretty good, right?
So actually, now I understand why he did that. Yeah.
I forgot Mina didn't have a horse. I'm used to Mina having a horse, but she did not have one. Check 38, man. Check it. That's what I want to know. That's what the viewers are asking for. They're not. They actually haven't said anything. They've been silent as a crypt. I think they might be under Dracula's sway. But it's okay, because we're going to check Munich right now, right? Yes? Did he go through Munich?
Would be surprised if he does not. There it is.
He did. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Dracula was in, or not Dracula, Godalming was in 41, Nuremberg. So I feel like he almost certainly went east, unless he backtracked into Venice.
Batting him into the lair. Yeah, makes full sense.
Okay. Saboteur. He was our... Okay, that doesn't really do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, don't reveal an item, no reason to. And a wreck. There's one of the vampires.
Yeah, that was the spot that had... Yeah, Zurich was the spot where he laired, the one spot where he planned to ambush. This is a lair vampire, so I'm not sure that's exactly warranted.
I almost wonder if Spencer forgot that the renewed vigor bats would trigger instantly, because I feel like you'd much rather leave the bat there and have someone get batted onto this vampire at night, right? Like, either let him search for the second action, or I suppose actually if he searches at night, then it's still a day fight for you, but then you're like, you've wasted another day of Godalming's actions. Maybe he's scared of the renewed vigor revealing something.
Well, mind you, he's seeing to it that as Godalming gets only one action despite the renewed vigor.
Yeah, you know, protecting himself from renewed vigor, like team-ups or something, you know. You'd probably want to check, like, Sarajevo, or what's it called, Zagreb? The one that's after Munich, going directly southeast.
Yes, that's Zagreb.
Yeah, that's Zagreb. Probably want. Actually, I can just look at the map because of the new interface.
Yep. Toggle map
59.
button.
Ooh, that's a point.
Yep.
That's a very crucial point as well. It gets one
Yeah.
little stay movement.
Well, if the hunters have been holding on to a vampire lair all this time, that may be yet be undone. And the hunters have been pointedly, and Randiv has been pointedly avoiding discarding stakes, unless he's actually using them. So it's quite possible. I find it quite plausible that he has it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Dracula got a point, but other than that, it's kind of an okay combat, you know? I mean, he got 1 point. What does Seward do? Does he rail to 36 and then, like, fast horse to 57 maybe to make sure he didn't go? I feel like he didn't go back into Italy. I feel like he would just do the safe call and just move as far as he could. Like, just go east.
I would, if Seward is a chartered carriage, this is definitely an excellent time for that. Because,
Yeah.
with the new interface, it's a move action to use that. So you can go to Marseille and then a chartered carriage all the way up to Vienna.
Doesn't appear like he has one, or he's saving it maybe to, like, chartered carriage from 25 next turn?
Okay. So unless he went to Venice, Florence, he did not go down to the boot.
Did Spencer get greedy and want to go to the castle to win with maximum IDS?
Well,
I mean, I could see it. It would be risky, but definitely very possible.
So,
Oh, come on, Randiv. You've been doing fine, you know. Spencer, he's played a few tricks on you, sure, but there hasn't been, you know, there's been a few mistakes here and there, but who does look? At least you didn't, like,
well said,
lose to
Spencer.
a rail block when you had good luck, you know. Like, people have made all kinds of mistakes this tournament, man. Just keep your chin up. He's on the mainland. You could get him.
Yeah, well said, Spencer. It's not over yet.
Yeah, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, especially if he's trying to go for some max IDS win, Castle Dracula shenanigan. Although I guess he's at 12, so he could just feed to heal. Although he doesn't want to feed, probably, because that delays his win by a day. So maybe he does just want to, like, go to the castle, heal up a little bit, maximum IDS.
Yeah,
End the tournament, end on a high note.
If someone, especially Mina, is holding the vampire lair, I would do that now. Especially if it's Mina who has that, as she's the one without a horse.
I'm pretty sure he went east, but I would want to check 59 and 58.
Well, Goldaming.
We'll see.
Let's see. I imagine that he'll go either 59 or 58.
Maybe 58 because 58 is obvious, and if you're going to the castle, it's the same number of moves.
Grip?
Okay, he just went 59. 59 is faster. That makes sense.
All right. Well, he'll show his knife to be sure.
Yeah.
I imagine that Goldaming's third thing is the Heavenly Host.
I mean, a chartered carriage would actually be really effective, right? It would get him all the way to 53 today.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sick. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it would be 53. It would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and since there are 3 of those in the deck, despite the fact that he's only drawn 30, with him having drawn 30, it's pretty likely that he's found 1.
Well, and he moved to Genoa instead of moving to, like, you know, Milan, right? He moved to the place that was further away by road. Unless he didn't want to go on to 37 Milan for fear of triggering that encounter. Because there's still an encounter there, by the way. It's not been cleared.
That's true. A chartered carriage off Mina would be pretty good as well. That would get her...
Okay. Yeah?
That would get her...
Ooh.
That would get her all the way to Budapest.
Maybe excellent weather with John Seward, maybe from there to 55, but... That is not great movement right now. Are you dealing with Milan, Van Helsing, or not? Okay, he's supplying. So maybe he presumably does want to deal with what's in Milan, so there's no point to move. Might as well supply, right? Another Dracula event on top.
Well, considering how few there were, I mean that was only what number, uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was only the ninth one. So, to be honest,
Yeah,
I'm
we're a
not.
little bit under Dracula advantage.
Yeah. So I'm not all that surprised.
Not even moving with me now.
Well, considering
Like,
that she
you're getting...
doesn't have a horse and
Oh, yeah,
and such, I'm not.
but
It kind of makes a certain amount of sense for that to do that.
I mean, she has events though. Like she could have a something like a chartered carriage maybe or a sense of emergency. But like if she doesn't move now, those cars will be less effective later, right? Like let's say she had chartered carriage and she moves to 44 today, she could get all the way to Bucharest tomorrow, or she gets Sofia tomorrow, right? But now where she is, that's not happening, right? She's probably not going to get there in time now. Like even though moves are slow and feel bad, I think something I've learned is I've given up on hunters too early, where I've thought they're too far out of position, they're not going to get there in time. When in fact they did have time, I just had to move them, right? Um,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it
Oh.
depends on where tickets are, right? If she has like double white wall or something,
Apparently whatever's in Milan is going to be sure.
Did he night supply? He night supplied, didn't he?
No, he
What did he
ticketed.
do? He ticketed? Oh, I mean, I would night supply right now if you need something right now, you know? I don't think traditional conventional tactics are going to get you there. Unless there's a second one that I don't know about. It's very possible he's on the second one. Unlikely,
What
but
we got?
possible.
Mob.
A mob in Milan is going to hit both of them. Kind of
Yeah.
rough.
I mean,
Kind of
definitely not as
Oxford.
bad as most things.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to
That's
make it annoying if Seward was planning to run into him, though. I mean, Seward at 5 is a lot lower than 9.
yes.
On the other hand, doesn't accelerate his win, right? Doesn't give him points. It's not a hoax, for example. The hoax would be
Yeah.
pretty bad.
That could have been a vampire. That could have been a hoax. Another bodyguards, because there is still that bodyguards from earlier.
Well, I mean, claps to Spencer for adapting to the strategy and not just holding on to the layers no matter what, right? He saw that he didn't really need the layers, and he just did the good move and used the layers as pure obfuscation, and I can appreciate knowing when to adapt to the circumstance rather than just always following the plan.
Yeah. Spencer is definitely one of the best Dracula players in the community. Oh?
Dual forming?
Yeah. Possibly went down to Athens and then forming out.
Maybe wolf forming so we can move to the castle next turn, so we'll get the hit points before the game ends. Because I believe you have to move there before. You can't move there with your finishing move, right? Because you won't heal before you win. Is my understanding.
Yes.
So maybe like wolf forming to 28 or 22. Because he didn't want to move there originally, but now that he sees the hunters are so far behind, he feels like he can get closer. Like he moved to like Sofia or like, I don't know, maybe Solon. No, I guess, yeah. If he was somewhere closer to a port for safety, but now he feels like he has security, that is good. That is very good.
I suspected that was around with how he was playing in truth.
I wish he had moved Mina closer, but I mean, this is fine. It's still okay.
Yeah, so I suspect that Spencer's at Sophia right now.
I feel like I'd make a beeline for that castle. I think that he's greeting. I think he's greeting a little bit, which I mean, I think I would do too in this situation. Maybe he's in Sophia though.
He will form from Sophia. Yeah, he's at 20 or 22.
28.
So he's gonna move to the castle next.
Mm-hmm. I would rush the castle.
Refuel to full health, and then so in that case, move Gul'daming to Bucharest. It would be my move.
I mean, I think the problem is here, if he isn't like Athens right now, I don't think you can win the game, right? Like, I think he has the ability to just go to sea and land and win. You need to play your outs to win as the hunters. You could win if he's in the castle right now. Like, that is a very possible win if you can get the people there, because he's not going to be able to go to sea. He's using his wolf form. If he's in, like, the castle next turn, he will not be able to leave. Like, you will be able to jump onto him with at least 2 people. So I would play to my outs, right? I think if he's in Athens, the game's over.
He went to Valona before Sophia.
Okay.
Since this is the second renewed vigor, I disagree with that move.
I just think you go after him. Like, I think if he's in Athens right now, he's won. He's won the game, guaranteed. Maybe by forcing him to go to sea, you make him lose, yes. But I would play for the win if possible. And then,
oh. That's why he went to Venice.
Makes sense.
Yes. However,
Also,
I would check out what's in Athens.
I mean, at this point, yeah, because you're not going to get him if he's in the castle. So, like I said, figure out play to what the situation is. If he's in the castle now, you're not going to be able to get to him with people. Unless you have, like, sense of emergency on Van Helsing to then, or you, like, move and then horse and then charred carriage to 10 maybe. Then you could maybe get Van Helsing there, but I don't think you're going to get the 2v1 you wanted.
Yeah. What would really help is a vampire lair. That would give you 1 extra day to do it.
True. If he went to Castle Dracula and you had a vampire lair, that would be massive. Or if he just like is in Athens. But I think now you need to check Athens because you're not going to be able to check anything else. So and rule out Athens as a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, he went to the castle. Or he's hiding on the Black Sea coast, but that feels really awkward. I feel like he's just at the castle right now.
Yeah, I think that he went to more likely Galatz.
I mean, yeah, just get far away, because he had no need to wolf form in this position. The only reason he would wolf form is because the health doesn't matter, because he's going to heal it anyway, right? Why would he wolf form when he didn't need to take a lower IDS unless it was actually to get a higher IDS by going to the castle? I feel like he's got to be going there.
Discarding a stake, so that's the 3rd stake accounted for. Or no, that's only 2 discarded. The last one never ended up getting actually used.
Van Helsing's got to move now. If he does not move now, day trade. Does Mina? Is he giving Mina a movement event?
Like a charred carriage, mayhaps.
Yeah, something like that. Because he's at the castle, right? And you're not going to be able to get anyone else there unless there's a vampire lair to delay him by a turn, right? There's just not enough time. So you need a vampire lair, or you need like Mina to like have some heroic save, and okay, let's say he's in 22 or 28, he moves to the castle next turn. There is no more renewed vigor. No one is gonna be able to move to the castle next turn except for maybe Mina if she gets in range today, right? And if he's at 15, how are you gonna kill him with one person? It's
Sense
not
of
happen.
Emergency.
It's still not that good. 30 is so cut off is the problem. Like she can get to 58. I guess she could charter carriage from 58 to 22 to jump on him today.
What?
Oh.
What on earth are you doing there?
Or we submit to our vampire overlords and die in each other's arms. You know, feel the warm press of
that's
a fellow human one last time.
Why on earth did he do that? Is this like his way of saying I give up?
Feels like it. I mean, I think the tough thing is at that point, when you had Godalming that could maybe get to the castle, you could maybe get him at the castle. But if it was only going to be Mina, your chances of killing him are pretty slim. They're slim to none. Yeah, I think maybe the despair tokens have set in. It's just, it's all over but the crying. I mean, let's see if he moves to the castle. I feel like he's got to be moving to the castle, though, right? Why else would he wolf? He had no need to wolf form. He was in Sofia, right? He could have just moved to 56 and been fine. The only reason you wolf form is to get to the castle.
Yeah, the only hope left for the hunters is that they have a vampire lair with that last stake. We know that someone has that stake in their hand. There's no draw pile, and there's only 3 in the discard. So we know that someone has it.
Why would Mina and Van Helsing be meeting up then? Is she giving him the stake? But if one of them had the vampire lair, you would just trade the vampire lair, not the stake. Right? Why would you meet them up? You could just do it via radio, or however Van Helsing does it.
I think it's Seward who has the stake. He staked a Disgrace, tried to stake a Disgrace Soul at Cadiz.
Oh, we saw him use his stake? Oh. Yeah.
Back in Cadiz, yeah.
What are we doing right now? We're going to Castle Dracula, right? Dracula? Hopefully.
I assume so.
I mean, or it was just a bluff, right? He does the wolf form to bluff that he was
No
going to the castle.
castle.
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe.
with this, he might actually be able to get away with a feed.
I suppose. Yeah, they've kind of like, you know.
Speed telegraph.
Do they have
Okay.
hypnosis? Just Mina have an event card on it right now. Right, but it's not. It's great strength. It's not hypnosis. So no hypnosis is getting played right now. What is going on?
What?
Does
Yeah.
he think that if he heals, he'll get the healing before the game ends? Because I don't think that's how it works, or at least it wasn't how it worked in the past.
That still isn't how it works. That still isn't
how it works. Okay.
Yeah. It's still.
But I mean,
the influence still kicks in first, so.
I mean, if you could move to the castle, why wouldn't you? At that point, because they were all so far away. Like, just take the IDS and go home to the bank.
Yeah, unless he has the vampire lair already, the game is lost for the hunters.
Yeah. Didn't even get to use that CEG. It was so forecast, but it's just it didn't end up being very useful because they didn't really have an idea of where it was. The lack of money trail and like picking up that sea space really cost them a lot, right? Because they spent a lot of time kind of getting to the coast and spent time in Spain.
Yeah.
But by the time they actually found out he was in the east, it was too late.
Or at least Randiv thought it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, too late for like effective CG use, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose he could have played when he was in Sofia, but I mean, he was shooting blind at that point. You had no idea where he was in the east. He could have been already. I thought he was already next to the castle. I thought that's what was happening, but I was proven wrong. What do you check right now? Did he wolf form to like 17 maybe, and then you moved to 10?
I would go Bucharest. Yeah, just grasp at the stars for just any hope.
No. Yeah.
Does Seward have vampire lair? Because I think he's the one holding the final stake.
Well, even if he does it matter anymore?
I mean, it
The
might.
humanity of it all. It would let Dracula move into Castle Dracula without, oh, he's gonna get to draw 3 more encounters. If he didn't have fog before, he certainly has it now. Yeah, you gotta move, pal. I don't think you can choose not to move, so I think you have to move to Valona. He gets to ambush you again. He knows you don't have the Heavenly Host. Oh, he just didn't ambush him.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He
doesn't care.
At this point,
true apathy.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he ends up moving on to Goldaming, and if he went Black Sea Coast, if he chose to hide at Constanta, mayhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think Constanta is probably where wolf formed, unless he was just like wolf forming like in the middle of Austro-Hungary. But that feels really unnecessarily risky. Like, just go to the coast. Okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna get some things revealed right now. Maybe make him go to sea if he's actually on 17.
Yeah, you can force a little less IDS out of him.
And then if you have Vampire Lair and you put the permanent token in 17.
Well, actually, it would actually be this one, Varna, that you want it, because since it's wolf form, you can't. So actually, I like how he's doing it so far. He's just clutching at this last desperate hope.
Well, played your outs, right? You played your outs, right? If you have a way to win, if he is somewhere and he could be there, play that way. Play that out. No.
Not there.
So what did he do? Did he like fake wolf form and hide in Salonik, or did he like wolf form to like 53 and then just move to 28? I would check 28 right now.
Well, I can't check 28 with Heavenly Hosts.
Oh, right, you can't because
I would check 53 or Salonika.
Yeah. I think Salonika's unlikely, but I suppose it's possible. Why would they go? They have no reason to go there, right? So it would make sense to hide there. Well, Randiv is thinking along similar lines.
Yeah. That was the last desperate hope. If he had been hiding at Constanta, he could have forced him out to sea, and with the wolf form being there and hide, he can't misdirect Constanta, so he's forced to give Randiv a couple more days to try to find something.
Yeah, Vampire Lair. Plus, he takes more damage that way. So he probably was in 28 or 22, moved or hid to the other one, and then is now just, I moved to the castle for style points.
Yeah.
For the. It
Yep.
looks like he's at 15 before the game ends.
All right. Let's see what he did.
I see it. I see him at 15.
It was hide at Glaths.
Yeah.
But he does not get.
Suppose
Oh, apparently he does
It looks
get the
like
healing.
he does.
Apparently you do get the healing if you now. So that's a full
Some little
15.
update change.
Yeah, so that's a
Yeah.
full 15 dinger. Fortunately,
Ding, ding, ding.
I. Okay, let's see if I can get those two in here for post game chat. In chat. Give me a bit while I message the two. Okay. Spencer says no thanks. Randiv says if he must, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty demoralized, right? I think it always feels bad to lose with hunters.
Spencer said no, so not necessary, necessary, but if you are willing, come to Ernie, Ernie voice channel 1.
Pleasure co-commentating with you.
Possibly. Okay. Looks as if Randiv may be coming. Let's see. If for nothing else, end of tourney, type.
Hello, Randiv.
Hello.
Hey, Randiv.
Tough game.
Good try.
That's just that's one of those things I do sometimes where I make a mistake in the rules or interpretations of a card, and then I rule out a whole thing, and then that leads to cascading effects. So.
Well, I mean, I think that you made some. I think that there were some mistakes for sure, but I think that thinking he went to England, for example, in the commentary booth, we were right there with you thinking he went to England. I mean, I think Terrence, he took all of us by surprise.
Yeah.
Spencer certainly was being tricky today, and I think that.
Yeah, Spencer said that he does. As I said, Spencer said he doesn't want to chat, but nonetheless, good try, teammate. At the very least, since I hit Ariel for 14 IDS, our IDS loss is very minimal. So don't feel too bad about it, man.
Oh, no, I don't.
Spencer is a difficult opponent.
I thought I had ruled out Tyranian or Mediterranean because of
the local rumors. Sadly, anyone else, and yes, you would have figured it out. But any other hunter, yes, that's exactly what that would have done.
That was only good for the one hunter. For some reason, I was like, oh, it's all of them, but of course it's not.
That's evil presence.
Yeah, so I made an assumption that I had actually ruled out and that he had to have gone up north, and that was completely wrong. I was sitting on 2 renewed vigors and consecrated ground by turn 4.
Wow.
But I never got any of the movement cards until the very end of the game. I never saw any chartered carriages.
Yeah. Did you end up drawing Vampire Lair the last day by any chance?
Never saw that either. But
that would have bought you one more day, and that would have given you an out if you had it.
Yeah, that was at the end. I should have. interpreted that he was going to Athens, which
I
should have been thinking he's going to go for IDS and he's going to go to Castle Dracula. And if I had gone that direction, maybe something could have come out of it.
Yes. Had you sent them that way, you would have been able to jump on him that last day. As Goldaman would have been sitting at 10 and Seward only one space behind him, so you would have been able to, and that probably would have made him. That probably would have made him show his hand unless there was a fog there, which honestly is pretty likely, with all the Desecrated Soil drawing he was doing. So, in truth, even if... Do you have any forewarns by any chance?
I did, yes.
Who?
I could have given it to whoever was necessary. Like, he could have traded it around, right? But, yeah, there's just, you kind of had to...
have Lucy's Revenge, Land Ambush, Forewarned. It's just
yeah.
find him.
Yeah. If you had gone on for the castle, because Peace was commenting that even if he was at Athens, you could only get one person there, and a 1v1, especially with a 5 health Seward, is not an out for you at that point. And since he just goes to sea again, it is rarely an out, let's say. So therefore, you're better off just trying for the best case scenario for you. Going towards the castle.
You know, I mean, we all play our own games while we're in the
Yeah.
game. I think it's really... We all have imperfect information, right? I have no idea what cards these hunters are holding, and I don't... You know,
Okay.
I think that whatever... Any hunter can make any decision, and I think it can be somewhat validated. I don't want to...
Yes.
Backseat hunt too hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Good try. The thing is, we may still place above Dirty Deeds Done Cheap in the tournament, because if, as I think, there's still going to be the first versus second, third versus fourth, and fifth versus sixth thing, because the fact that I defeated Ariel means that we are going to place both Transatlantic Transylvanians, I think. So therefore, you may have a chance to get revenge on him, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was I was reading about this because you mentioned it in the information section, and my understanding is that it was said that if there was a tie, or after the tournament concluded, there would be an optional first versus second, third versus fourth, fifth versus sixth sub competition afterwards. But I don't. That's what I was reading because you mentioned it. I wanted to see if it was true.
Yeah. So if that ends up being the case, we may yet manage to snatch the bronze medal last minute. So don't despair yet, teammate.
I'm thinking that the tournament's over. But I don't know.
Did you have a good time? How was your tournament experience? Was it good? Did you like this kind of team format? I'm really curious what other people think of it. Did you find it enjoyable?
Yeah, actually, it was. There's something that's worthwhile of sort of having someone on your side that you pivots with, or I mean, you talk about things afterwards, or share what you saw in a video or something, or
and also what you know about certain players. We were both able to share information about our opponents.
I think the weakness of it was just that two really good players can choose to pair up, and other people are assigned at random, and it creates kind of like one or two teams that are
I felt
much more powerful than the other.
I kind of felt the same way.
Given the format, I didn't care that much.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way about actually you, Pizza Wizard, along with Pirate Joe, and same with Scottsword and Geo, that fear ended up being well founded.
Geo rose very well to the occasion. I was very
Yeah,
surprised
after
by Geo. Geo played very well.
yes, I mean Gio has obviously put the like training I gave him during the New Blood tournament to good use. And I'm not joking when I say training, as like after every single game in the Swiss stage, we would go back. At least every game that I saw, we would go back, especially if he lost, and I would point out a couple things he did wrong here and there. So yeah, he and given advice how to avoid it and such. So yeah, I helped guide him, but he has gotten to the point where he is quite possibly a higher caliber player than I am. So.
I do see your concern, Randiv, and I think that's why this tournament really, because at the beginning of it was really a lot of beta testers, right? It was us playing the new beta, kind of figuring out what worked, what didn't work, helping them make it as good as we could, and then at the end, obviously, we got to it was a full update. But I did see that kind of concern. Like when I was looking at this thing, I was like, well, are me and Scottsword just gonna team up and like destroy it? I was like, I did not want that to happen, so I was like, I'm going to put myself to be random in the hopes that it would create a more kind of, or it wouldn't just be like you said, like the top people kind of being like, oh, you're good and I'm good, we should just like team up and look down from our mountain.
Yeah, Wakajic and Sir Backstab is an example of what I think should happen.
Well, it was. I mean, I was going to just mention that as the reverse. And the one other thing that I'd say about that I wondered about in the community is exactly Sir Backstab. We had one player who hasn't had a lot of experience.
Yeah, and sadly he.
There's so much publicity.
I don't want to misquote, but unless I'm mistaken, he didn't win a single game. The entire tournament. Snuff, so far as I know, got 2 throughout the entire tournament.
So I don't know what his.
So far as I know, Snuff, however, was around for New Blood, so he had a lot more experience. But yeah. I think I ended up with like 4 or 5 wins. At least 4, maybe 5. But in any event, Randiv, it's definitely been an honor being your teammate. If this is the end of it, definitely been a pleasure.
Days we'll have to play against each other and find out how that turns out.
Yeah, on both ends. I mean,
But I enjoyed the games. I think I need just to get a little more repetitions under my belt, because that's the thing, is that you just make one mistake, one bad assumption, and
yeah, I mean that's actually very well demonstrated in my match with Scottsword, because he actually could have gotten around that fog at Athens. He told me later. He actually mentions it in his recording how he could have simply not sent Seward in, and then with renewed vigor sent Van Helsing in, and then traded if I don't ambush, traded the forewarned to Mina, which she comes in with excellent weather. So yeah, there was a way he could have gotten me there and then, but he didn't see it in time.
I think even at the highest levels of play, I think I'm a really good example of this. There are plenty of mistakes, right? I think barely a game goes by where I look at it and I'm like, I played that game as perfectly as I could have, right? Like, mistakes are happening left, right, center. The key is not getting down about them and trying to, and obviously, like you said, like, obviously try to avoid them if you can, but don't beat yourself up about making a mistake, because you can't go back and fix the mistake. Sometimes you can, but just move forward with your new information and try to, don't read your cards. Don't just ignore cards like good luck, because occasionally they'll come up and you'll look like a dum-dum in front of the entire community when it's like, oh, there was a roadblock and I had good luck and I just didn't use it because I didn't remember that roadblock could be removed by good luck. Like, mistakes happen. Being perfect at this game is really, really hard. I just think it's being as good as possible. Rolling with the punches as best you can.
Yeah.
I would say what was magic on his part was that one turn early on where I use Mina's psychic bond, and I get a hit that he's in Italy.
Yeah, convincing you that he went down the boot.
He was there for like that one turn.
Yes, that really baited us too, from the commentator's side. We really thought they had gone down in the boot, and then we were like, what's going on? There was a lot of confusion here.
I made the double assumption. Like I thought, and you explained it. I was like, okay, that was a city that was turned up earlier. So if he went back there, it would be revealed. And so
yes, but that was that was the one spot that he matured, which is why.
That's why he matured it. Actually, it was to kind of like in a kind of not underhanded, but like in a sleight of hand, like don't make it a layer, because if he makes it a layer, then you'll see him remove it. Just don't make it a layer at all. Mature it, make you think about the mature effect rather than the fact that it's not a layer and you can move back to it. Spencer had some good obfuscation in this game for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spencer definitely played this well.
It would have been hard, but I could have saw that as a clue about what he might do, because he usually likes to layer things, and it wasn't a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maturing it. So.
Yeah, we were surprised by that as well. Or at least I was.
Roadblock for something. I thought he was gonna use roadblock to like mess with Van Helsing, because I was like, that's the reason to use it. But then he put it like between them and Marseille, when they, I think, both had horses. Or
yeah,
both had horses.
Both of them had horses at the time.
I was like, feels a little bit odd, but
yeah. All of us.
In any case.
But in any case, well,
I should probably be off, but it was a pleasure to watch you play today, Randiv. I think you've done, you haven't won nobody wins every game they play, but I think that you're not a bad player by any stretch, and I hope that you know that. Despite, I know 100 defeats can be really demoralizing when the game goes really long, and you just feel like it slipped out between your fingers. So I hope you played well. You played well today, and you've played well in the past, and I hope to keep seeing you at these things.
Yeah.
Also, good luck on.
He's a worthy opponent.
Good luck with your Magic career as well. I notice you playing Magic sometimes. Good luck with that. I'm also a Magic player.
I go back to like 1993, I think, was when I first started playing.
Yeah, good luck with that as well. But I'll see you both around, gentlemen. Thanks for having me to both commentate with you and watch your game, Randiv. Wouldn't be possible without both of you.
Yeah, and I hope, Randiv, assuming that this is the end of things and there is no rematch between us and Dirty D's on Sheep for third versus fourth, that it's definitely been nice being your teammate, and I hope to see you in the Spring League, as I believe that will be coming up before too long. Or no, Fall League. That'll be coming up in a few months.
Right.
What am I saying? Yeah. Well, till then.
It's hard for me to get 2 hours, set aside, and when it's like on a regular schedule and only once a week, I can sort of chart it out.
It'll likely be the occasional 2 in 1 week, but.
Yeah.
But
I do think the game is faster now that we're picking cards at the same time. I do think the game is sped up a little bit, not a lot. It's still going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I think that the game is a little bit faster, which I like.
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't help though. Like when I had the what's the one that twists things around?
Speed Telegraph.
Speed Telegraph.
Yeah, Speed Telegraph and Renewed Vigors. Like from like the second turn, and so every single. I'm clicking these buttons, clicking for something I don't want to do.
Yeah. Speaking of that, was that the reason why there was no newspaper reports at dawn to flip up that C, so that you could have moved a bit sooner?
Well, I didn't think the second. I had assumed that the second C was North Atlantic.
So you thought you knew.
And so then
I
was
see.
Waiting to get the third C.
I see. No pun intended.
I guess if I had done it sooner, if I hadn't made that assumption,
then you would have been in one more day moving towards the east. Yeah.
I thought it was information I didn't need, when in fact it was information I desperately needed.
Well, in any event.
Information you don't know that you need is is the most valuable kind.
In any event, thank you, Pizza.
All too true.
Thank you, Pizza, for joining me, and thank you, Randiv, for coming despite how demoralizing that ending must have been. And
it was on it. I might have made him sweat a little bit.
And well,
not much.
And folks, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.